This is the Hazardous Hooligan, and if you're no stranger to any of my videos, you've probably seen my Mutant Legend unboxing video where I unboxed this guy. This was I think last year, and he's really cool. I always loved Mutant, no matter if it's the animatronic or the prop, and I didn't want to spend the amount of money that the animatronic Mutant was going to cost. So I bought this one when he came out a year after Mutant, and I thought, why not make this guy into an animatronic instead of him just standing in my haunt? So animatronic isn't necessarily the best term for it, more like a puppet, because it's controlled by an actor. Now, this is the base for the puppet, and basically all it is it's this box with a piece of plywood and some door hinges that are screwed into the plywood and into the bottom of the base. And if I just take Mutant's base off of here, you can see that it actually comes up and down when someone moves it. And hopefully, eventually, we will make a pneumatic version out of metal, and it will cut out that actor that would be controlling him. Anyways, without further ado, let me set up this base with the armature and everything that needs to be set up for Mutant. So this right here is the second piece I built. And now it is a armature and handles, basically, for this puppet here. So it has these two that act as supports for behind the legs. It holds the two pieces of his legs and his torso / body together. And this just bolts on right back here, but you have to put the legs on first because the legs have PVC pipes in them that have that go into here and here. So these are cut perfectly to fit the size of the PVC pipes. So I'll put this down right here, and I will get his legs, and I will put on that now. Let's see. So his legs just go onto his base. That is the third part that comes in the box of Mutant. And it can be a little challenging when you're not looking, but after the first few times you've done it, you know where they are. So now this side has to be lined up. And there we go. So then after you do this, you have to line this up again. This. There we go. That is fairly lined up. Now you take this piece right here. You want to put it right onto these two screws right here. And they will just kind of slide on in. Let's see, like this. Best to get one on first. Let's see, there we go. You also, as you're doing this, so it doesn't get caught, you want to kind of line these up here as well. So it's going to look a little crooked until you put all of the pieces on. Just like so. And then you kind of just want to kick down this piece just a little bit so that gets on nicely. And then there are two screws you have to mount on here and on the other side, so I'll cut and then I will do that. So we just clamped this piece down just so it could be easily accessible for the washer and the nut to go on. And you just want to kind of finger tighten it until you can't finger tighten it anymore. And then you want to use your ratchet to do it down. You can also use a any sort of wrench if you really need to, but the ratchet's just the best option. And you just want to do that until you can't tighten it anymore, like that. So we did cut this piece to how the legs and the torso match up, so it will be very well hidden underneath this piece of fabric. But this thing does look a little crooked, but that's just because there's no weight on this top piece. until you put on the body. So everything will get smushed down and it will be really tight. So now you have to put the body on. And you don't want to get any of the fabrics caught in there just because it might rip. And like that. Then he is over probably 7 feet tall at this point. So he's very tall. It adds quite a few inches to his height. So you kind of can drape this back piece. And if you really wanted to, you can pin up this fabric and pin this down just so it's all nice and together, but you don't really have to. And now this is the completed mutant puppet that I made. Now, if I turn it to the side, like this, you can really see how it works. These act as handles, but also supports for the armature, and he just goes forward like that. You can bring it down as far as you want, but I do suggest having a way to stop him in case your actor that's controlling him cannot see the people. Like we had him behind a drop panel, so you could not really see anybody. So you want a way to stop him so he doesn't hit any of the your guests through your haunted house. But other than that, really, there's no risks about him falling or anything, because he's a very heavy construction when it's fully up. And if you're really concerned, you can put a foot down so he doesn't fall off. But you get good motion. You can kind of, because it's just wood, you can kind of wiggle him around so he looks more realistic while he's moving. And it's a very cool whole construction here. So this is the way that I use to really home in the effect that he was this mutant trying to get out of wall. He's breaking free. Is this a Waytronic speaker? I got it on Amazon, but you can also get it on Fright Props and those sites like that. But this is a motion activated speaker, and there's some buttons here so you can switch what sounds you want to play. There's volume control, higher and lower. And there's also a place to put a USB stick, and this is a SD card slot, and I do have an SD card in here. And this is what I have for the mutant sound. Now, this is not the Distortions mutant sound, because it wouldn't make sense with all the chains, and because he does not have any chains or any metal, and there's no alarms going off or anything like that, because he's just a mutant. But I will plug it in and demonstrate what the sound does sound like. It's very loud. And yeah, so let's see. Now, it's a very loud speaker. It can go louder than that. It's a very surprisingly loud speaker for how small it is. It's barely bigger than my head, and it's very cool. It's powered by a adapter, 6 volts. And yeah, it's a very good speaker, especially you can get it for pretty cheap on Amazon, like I did, and it really hones in the effect. So this is where the speaker goes, and we had to tape over the IR sensor because it just wasn't working. When you move him, we thought it would show an accurate movement, but it did not. It went off at random times, so we taped over it. And there are buttons, and because we only have one sound on this, I can just hit this button and it would start. And in the next version, you really want to clamp this thing down, because just having this one little hook in here, it really, it doesn't work very well. It falls off. So when you do it, you have to put a few screws holding it down. And I would also suggest when you do use him, you want to have a longer cord, because the cord that it comes with is very short. You want to probably put it on this and have it go behind you, because it's really, really short and it will unplug. So now, without further ado, let's completely demo this guy. Sound, motion, and everything. So for the haunted house, I did have a strobe light on him, but it will not work for this, just because the lighting in here. But I can show you what he looked like moving and with sound right now. I hope you enjoyed this mechanism and seeing it work and how I built it. This is a different type of video than I normally do. I don't typically do custom stuff, and I want to get more into the custom stuff because I do like building my own things, and you making things with already existing things. I think it's a great thing to do. And if you would like to build something like this, I will leave everything you need to build like the actual mechanism and all the screw types and all that kind of stuff in the comment or the description below. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment. And if you did like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.